So the assignment, let's see, I'm going to go through this website quickly. Thanks for, oops, not that one, but this one is complete. I think all of you submitted. Ekata, did anyone forget? If you did, if someone did, let me know, and I will remind them. But this was due on Tuesday, so make sure you submit it if you haven't. But those of you who did, thank you. Let's see. The next assignment is posted as I talked about last Tuesday. So take a look at it. This is due next week, next Tuesday. If there are any questions, again, message me on Slack or email. Let's see. Oh yes, the comment on the Synopsys software. So please take a look at the instructions that were posted by Jason. So we're going to do, as I mentioned in the announcement, we're going to do essentially 3 options for you, actually 4 options. Number 1, you will have access to the software in the ECE computer room, so which is open 24/7. I think you can just swipe in with your U card and come and use it. That's an easy option, but of course, if you're remote or if you don't want to actually, be close to other people, which I completely understand, you can go with the second option. The second option is we're going to set up a virtual pool run by the CADE Lab. Doug Ressler is setting this up. It's not quite there yet. I think I'll have instructions on how to log in. Essentially, you're going to just use a VPN. Actually, you may not need a VPN. I don't remember exactly, but it's a network license. So you just log into the remote server and then you can run the software. The third option is what I sent you the announcements yesterday, where you simply fill out the form and email Synopsys, and they will give you a local license. So that basically means you can run the software on your own computer, which is kind of nice because then you don't need to log into anything. I know there is a caveat there. Some of you use Mac, as I do, so I have the exact same problem. The Synopsys software does not run on the Mac, so either you have to run a virtual environment to emulate the Windows, which is painful. I know how it is. I've done it myself. Or you might have to rely on some of these other options before. So just keep those in mind. Let me or Ekata know if you have trouble with any of this, because it is a little bit involved. However, I should point out the software that you have access to is typically costs a lot of money. In fact, I had a company license the software, and I think it was over several tens of thousands of dollars per year. So you have access to pretty expensive software, so take advantage of it. That will be my first point. For free, that's because you're a student and you have access to it. The other point about the software I want to make is that this kind of software is what you will encounter if you actually go work in the industry in this field. So this is another great opportunity for you to take advantage of this. And just one more thing related to the software is Ekata on Tuesday will conduct a guest lecture, which is essentially a tutorial on the use of the software with many examples. So if you have things set up by then, bring your laptop or remote login and try to follow along. You don't have to. It's kind of nice to do. And on Thursday, we actually have a guest lecture by an expert from Synopsys, Mary Kate Crawford. Now, Mary Kate has requested not to post the video on publicly, so it will only be posted on Canvas. So you will have lots and lots of instructions and experience, hopefully, utilizing this commercial grade software. In fact, Synopsys actually has a portal with lots and lots of resources where you can post your questions, they will answer it. There's a lot of documentation if you're interested in different things. So I strongly recommend signing up there, and it's completely free for you. So just use it. It's not free for anyone else if you're not a student. So The fourth option, which I didn't talk about, is actually a free option, which is called 3D Optics. This is very recent. I actually have only used it very, very minimally. I believe it's a startup company out of Israel. They essentially created a Java version of optical ray tracing, and it looks quite beautiful. So I would recommend playing around with it for those of you who might want an open source option, and perhaps a more beautiful option, I would say, but Ekata will go over it a little bit next Tuesday as well. So that's another. So you have essentially 4 options on how to do simulations as part of your project. Of course, none of this will be used in your midterm, so don't worry about that. But I expect you to use one of these for your projects. So that's the main reason I'm spending a lot of time. Of course, the main reason I'm spending a lot of time is I want you to know this, because this is what you'll encounter in the real world. Okay, so 3D Optics, by the way, will work for those who are using a Mac. And also those who are using a Mac, you can also remote log into the CADE servers, or of course, just come into the ECE Computer Lab. Again, if you have any trouble accessing any of this, just let me or Ekata know. Let's see, any questions before we jump into the lecture? Okay, again, don't forget the next assignment is due next Tuesday. So make sure this is a team assignment, essentially defining a problem statement. I talked about the instructions last Tuesday. So just try not to be late. And yeah, and also the other thing to keep in mind, September 30th is our next team presentation. So also keep that in mind on your calendar. Oh, and also the week after that is the midterm, right before fall break. So just keep in mind, this is only for the in-person students, but it will be open everything and in the classroom. It'll be proctored in person. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. So we can just jump in.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for online students, what about the midterm? Like, is it open notes and proctored or what?